Hello, welcome to video 3 in a Path to Love series. Today we're going to be talking about self-responsibility and ego clearing. And if you remember from video number 2, it was all about acceptance and coming into more alignment with, really being okay with what is. And part of that conversation led to the idea of, when we open up to healing, when we open up to like our heart really, which aligns us with more love, then what happens is that we begin to see all the places that live within us that don't actually align with love, which can then kind of catapult us into what some call the dark night of the soul. So this is sort of the segue into this one. When we are in the dark night of the soul, things feel pretty shitty. They feel pretty crummy. And we oftentimes can get very lost in the mind body and also the emotional pain body. And when we circulate between these two places, it's pretty common for us to believe that we are feeling the way that we feel because of somebody else or something else that has happened outside of us. And I mean, it's super common, especially when we start our journey of more awakening and understanding sort of the mechanics of ascension or enlightenment or, your spiritual awakening. It can be really hard to decipher, certain emotions or feelings that come up because as these feelings come up, they're really linked to stories from our past and our conditioning and how we've been raised or not raised, things we wish were different. And a really integral part on, aligning to the path of love is self-ownership and self-responsibility. And to preface that doesn't mean that, things that have happened in your life aren't crummy, haven't hurt, haven't, caused discomfort in any way. But when we take self-responsibility, it means that we're willing to own our feelings in this present moment without projecting or blaming people who are in our lives today or in the past. When we blame others, it's really a form of avoidance of not wanting to feel the feels, which again, super common. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable or feel different aspects of ourself rising that, are reminding us of different things, along our life path. And when we take this self-responsibility or accountability, we're really deciding that we're going to own or pull our power back into ourselves and not give away to any person, place, or thing that might have caused trauma, wounds, or pain in the past. And really all self-responsibility is being willing to own how you're feeling in each moment, and also being aware of how you show up in each moment and in each interaction, because it's not uncommon for us to be having a really crummy day, to be triggered, in some form or another, and then to show up, at work or a family or friend gathering, and, kind of like spew our emotions or feelings that don't feel that nice into that space. And if you're an empath, of course, you know this really well because you've been witness when other people have done this around you. When you, feel good and then you walk into a space and instantly you feel overwhelmed or feel sad or anxious or worried or, enraged, frustration. And so really, as an empath, if you walk into a room and you feel these feels, then that is really the culmination of people not necessarily just being aware of their energetic body and how they show up into a space. Because all feelings, all thoughts, all beliefs, everything that we, experience within ourselves is also projected within our energetic or our aura field, even if we don't realize it. So it's, our presence, it's how we hold ourselves, it's how we identify with our life experience. So, rather than having feelings come up and, looking for your coping mechanisms, whatever that might be. There's a plethora of them and we all have them. So yeah, P.S. please don't think that you're the only person that avoids or suppresses or isn't comfortable looking at your stuff, because every single person on the planet is uncomfortable looking at their stuff, no matter what they tell you, because it means that we have to actually take ownership and see the places within ourselves where we are actually holding love back from our own experience. So when we begin to take this, ownership and decide to let ourselves feel the feels, then we're able to actually, shift our energy, shift our mind, shift our beliefs, and which helps us show up differently in our interactions with other people. And as I said, the concept is easy. The practice is work, not work. The practice is practice. It takes awareness. It takes being willing to be more present in the moment. And it takes the ability to also not hide from who you are or feel that it's too sticky to look at all the parts. So really, it's all about being honest, self-honest, taking responsibility. If you're having a crummy day, if you have a lot of things coming up within your life from events that even are presently happening or happened before, being willing just to sit with that on your own, owning the parts within you that feel uncomfortable with whatever the event or trigger was, so that you can reclaim those parts of yourself and also just let yourself feel it. And once we feel it, then all of a sudden we start to come into this place again as the witness, where we can just see things, we can observe it, and then we begin to understand, why we are the way we are, why we've shown up in different relationships as we have. And, within that kind of leads us back to what we were talking about in the second video, which is acceptance. So I feel that all of these concepts, as we, walk this path to love, it's all a spiral. They're all connected. It's not necessarily in order of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Various things can rise at different times for us. And that always allows us to, sink into more acceptance, more responsibility, more self-love, more self-nurturing, and that sweet spot of neutrality, of just being able to witness who we are and what we're up to and, why we do the things we do. I really feel strongly about self-responsibility. And I know that in my own life, each time I actually take self-responsibility, I notice such a huge difference in the relationship dynamics that I have, whether that's with my daughter, my friends, my family, a partner. Everything, ripples out from that space, because how we relate to ourselves is really how we relate to other people. So if we're judging ourselves all of the time for our feels, then, it's going to be really easy for us to judge others for their feels. If we avoid our own emotions or our own process, then we're really not going to be able to hold space for other people. We're going to want to avoid their stuff because it's too uncomfortable for us. We haven't had a chance to look at our own stuff, so, and that, I could keep giving examples about that, like if we get angry at ourselves, if we make a mistake or do something that we wish we didn't, then we will only extend that same anger to someone else if they slip up and fall, or the judgment piece. So really, the more we take ownership and self-responsibility for ourselves, for our emotions, for our actions, then all of our relationships ripple out in such a healthy, integrated way. We really shift from being codependent on others, other people, or other things outside of ourselves, feeling like we need out there to change for us to feel good. We really realize with self-responsibility that it's our responsibility to feel good within, so that we can kind of broadcast that outwardly. So yeah, that's part 3, self-responsibility. It's a practice. All of this is a practice. Life is a practice. So go easy with yourself, be gentle, and just be willing to love yourself through all the steps. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you for video 4.